happened to anything like this. This is not Rodney Ballard, okay? But I promised the man I'd do this. His last words to me,
It won't be the last.
you're right. His last words is, tell him what happened. You seem to tear it up. So, I've had a heart condition since I was a junior.
You ready? You
Oh,
ready?
yeah, you're right. I've had a heart condition most of my life. And there's probably some of y'all out there that had runaways and slow down and all kinds of stuff. Okay, I went to some of the best. Now this gonna be churches. I was gonna be telling what's true, what went on with me. Okay, I went to some of the best specialists in the world. I've been all over Memorial, Woodlands, and everywhere else, and you know, it just worse and worse and worse. Okay, I was probably the only kid in 7th grade taking Valium to slow my heart down, but I was a hell of a track star. Okay, I could move pretty quick. Toward the end, you know, probably a year and a half ago or so, my heart started getting worse and worse, and I didn't want to say, yeah, I'm dying. You know, I had this all my life, but I wasn't ready to give up and say, you might be on your last leg. So, and I probably weigh right now. I weigh 169, 170. Back then I weighed probably 200, 205. My heart wasn't pumping the liquid out of my liver and kidneys and heart. It wasn't happening. But what I learned how to do was, if I worked harder, I could sweat it out. The doctors wouldn't tell me that, you know, your heart's not pumping good enough to keep you alive. It got down close to the end, and I love to work. Brenda, as Roxy would tell you, the Ballards have worked all their life. We like to sweat. We like to work. If I couldn't work, I'd die. I built a garage apartment, and I was so weak that I had to scoot on my butt on a piece of cardboard and use a nail gun to nail it. I mean, I wasn't going to give up. And it finally got so bad that I couldn't brush my teeth. I do like this, my arm would fall. And I'd say a few choice words that I shouldn't be saying. And I'd do it again. I'd hold my hand up and fall down. Well, the wife would pull up with the groceries outside in her Tahoe. I couldn't walk out there and get a bag of groceries and come to the house. And all these doctors in Woodlands, they were all medicine doctors. In other words, they're going to give you pills until you die. Amen. They're going to give you pills till your arm's like this. Amen. Well, I had a good buddy, Don Spence. He said, Rodney, you need to go see my doctor, Delgado. He said, he can probably help you, maybe. I'm thinking, look, it's over. My grandpa died of this. My uncles died of this. My aunt's got it. My mother died. My son's got it. It's genetic. And I said, you know, I said, no, let's just forget it. Let it run its course, and you know, I'll die. Well, I was at home one day, and I was weak. My wife come in, and I was in bed, and she come in and said, how you feeling? I said, well, I'm ready to move on. I said, do me a favor. She said, what? I said, shut the air conditioner down to about 65. Shut the windows. Shut the door. Come back in 2 days. I'll be in heaven. I said, I'm ready to go. She started crying. Then I started crying. She said, now, we're going to go see our buddy. Our buddy has a friend. His name is Mr. Delgado. I couldn't think of his name. And so I said, whatever. You're wasting your time. My whole family had this. They all died. So we went down there. He had all my records. And I'm telling you this in case one of y'all, you have a heart problem, know somebody has a heart problem, heart, liver, kidney, needs an organ. They do it every day. But, well, they do it every day except for hearts. So we go there and see the man, and of course he grabs his chair. You know, and when the doctor does this, you know you're in trouble. He scoots up to me real tight, puts his hand on your knee, and says, "Do you know that you're in perfect shape beside your heart?" I said, "Yeah, it is. I work like a dog. I just can't have no air. I need some oxygen. He said, you have 4 options. I said, options? Nuts? I'm dying. He said, no, you got, here at St. Luke's. Now, I've got something fixing to read y'all after I talk about this. He said, here at St. Luke's, you've always got options. Number 1, you've got stem cell. He said, we're about 1.5 years out on stem cell. He said, stem cell is doing good in other joints and knees and stuff. He said, about 1.5 years out on stem cell. He said, we have 2 mechanical hearts. And he said, you ever seen one? I said, no. He said, well, I'm going to have a doctor come here in a minute and show you one. And he said, the other thing we have is a transplant. I'm ready to go. I've been through enough. So I said, okay. So he sends a nurse in there. She walks in there with this looked like to me, it looked like a $20 Granger part, you know. And I looked at it, and I'm an old pipe fitter by trade in the old days. I said, that's just a darned old centrifugal pump. He looked at it, yeah. I said, water in, water out. I said, that's the best you've come up with in 100 years. And he said, yeah. He said, Dick Cheney had one last 3 years. He said, they last forever. And I said, how's it go in there? He said, it attaches to the bottom of your heart. And the damn thing weighed probably 2 pounds. So I can imagine that pulling on your heart. I had to walk around like this probably. And I said, oh my God, y'all are so far back. You know, I said, hell, I could have built one by now. You know? And so anyway, I got through there, and then we go back to the doctor, and he said, what do you think, Mr. Delgado? And I said, I don't know. I said, you tell me what you think. He said, well, to be honest with you, he said, as good a shape you're in, I'd go for transplant. I said, okay. He said, you can still go swimming. You take your grandkids in a pond, jump in. You can do whatever you want. You won't have to carry around batteries, you know, with the 2 mechanical hearts. And he said, the only thing is, if something goes wrong in the operating room when we're doing a transplant, you know, there's no backup. That's it. I said, whatever. I'm 2.5 minutes from heaven anyway. I didn't care. And he said, I said, if you was me, what'd you do? He said, transplant, go for it. I said, okay, let's do it. I said, I asked the doctor, when do you want to start? He said, I'm checking you in right now. So I spent 2.5 weeks in St. Luke's being checked out. In the meantime, y'all might have heard that Medicare withdrew from St. Luke's. They had 3 people die on the operating room. One of the surgeons that did the one operation, he tied the wrong artery to the inlet and outlet, and the guy's heart exploded before the operation. The second one, when they were stitching up a guy's heart, the doctor made he went too far and caught in the main artery and stuck a hole in it and sewed the guy up, and he lasted about a week and he died. Well, after all the tests were done, and St. Luke's lost her Medicare, that meant they just $2.5 million to have this done, by the way, and insurance paid for every bit of it. $1,000 a month is my prescription. But anyway, St. Luke's lost their Medicare. Right, I guess on a Friday, we were waiting to see that they said that I had a problem with the liver, so I might not get a transplant. So, but they said that they had to run some extra tests. Monday they didn't know. So we come in there Monday and said, there's 10 doctors. I'm laying in bed and there's 10 doctors right here. And they all stand around the bed, and she's telling me, look, you know, you do have scarring on the liver. That's probably due to the heart and the low blood flow. And he said, and this lady pulled out a calculator and she goes doing this. It just really makes me mad seeing a doctor do this and everything. She said, okay, at your age and the condition of your liver, you'll only live to be 97. Okay, so she said, you passed. She said, get the transplant. We were on cloud 9. This is St. Luke's, okay? We come back Monday. They have the board meeting Tuesday. We come back Monday, and that's when they come out and pop surprise, said, hey, your liver's too bad for transplant. And here it is right here. It says, your case was reviewed, and I love to read this because I hate these people right here. fact, I'm gonna put it on Facebook. Your case was reviewed at the Heart Transplant Medical Review Board on 8/14/2018. After careful review of your record, the board determined that you are unacceptable candidate for transplant due to increased surgical risk secondary to liver disease. Okay, it is with my deepest regret that we cannot offer you a heart transplant as a treatment option at this time. This is my death warrant, guys. This is it.
Yeah.
Okay? My doctor, Dr. Delgado, he knew what was going on. And now, back up a minute. Before that happened, since they had 3 people die on the operating table, they were going to lose their license. That means no more. St. Luke is world renowned for heart transplants. They lost their license, fixing to lose it. And they said what they were going to do is they were going to give 12 people a free heart. And my doctor told me, he said, I'm supposed to even tell you this. He said, you're one of them. So we was happy, right? Tuesday, this comes in. They decided to do a different PR than 12 free transplants. They decided to take the money and advertise. Well, my doctor was an angel. He worked for St. Luke's, but he was an angel.
Amen.
We went back and the wife started crying. She started bawling. I said, Brenda, it's all right. We're all going to die. It's just my time, baby. I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to be all right. Y'all are going to be good. You know, the boys will be fine. You'll be fine. And she told Delgado, she said, you promised us that you was going to take care of him. And he kind of teared up. He said, I am. I still am. He said, I've got the head surgeon for Methodist going to be over here in about an hour. He said, he's going to come look at you. They had to put an eye on you to make sure you didn't stay with that medicine doctor for too long in your skin and bones. Well, I was still pretty good, you know? So sure enough, the head surgeon for Methodist come over there, stood at the end of my bed, and I grabbed the bar and picked up. People aren't supposed to do this when you get a heart transplant because your skin and bones. I pulled it up and he stuck his hand. I squeezed the hell out of it. I squeezed it down here, and he looked at me and he was Indian. He was just about that color right here, dark red. And he said, "Here's the way God opens doors." He said, "Mr. Ballard, we'll have an ambulance over here in 30 minutes to pick you up. You're going to Methodist." God opened the door. I knew nobody in the hospital. There's a waiting line outside for me to get in, okay, or for people to get in. I went from not knowing anybody to going straight to the top 26th floor in Memphis and for a transplant. Now again, the doctor at Memphis, Ballard, he said, we're going to have to retest again on everything, so go for it. I mean, what I got to lose? I said, go for it. So he did it. He come back and said, there's nothing wrong with your liver. He said, besides that, if you need a liver, we'd give you heart and liver. It's best to put 2 organs in than 1. I said, what? He said, we love to do 2, or like a lung and a kidney, or a heart and a liver. He said, because your immune system doesn't know which one to kill. It screws them up. Right now, I just got a heart. They say, hey, let's all go kill the heart, you know. If I had 2 of them, I said, take a kidney, you know. Well, you're too old for us to take a kidney. I'll give you some, you know, whatever. But anyway, now this all took place after I had a visit. And this is tough. And I'm gonna skip around. I just want to show you how God opened the door to get me in that hospital, because it's. I told somebody a while ago, out of Houston, Texas, 3.5 million people. How many people got a transplant last year? 48. Out of 100. That donor died from it. That's hard. You know, when I first went in there, the doctor I was trying to be in, and they said, we're going to offer you a psychiatrist in case you have mental problems with dealing with it. I'm a Ballard, dude. I ain't got no mental problems. I said, you cut my arm off. I said, you cut my arm off, and I ain't going to say anything. I want y'all to see this one. You see that machine right here? That's my heart.
Keeping you alive.
3.5 months with a 6-foot extension cord. The operation was nothing. Laying in bed that long was hell.
Yeah.
People, I know y'all know what code blue is, right?
Yes.
I'm laying in bed. I'm laying in bed. And, all night long, code blue, room 316, code blue. They was down on this side, down on that side, over there. One guy coded 8 times before they let him go. I said, yeah, and the whole time in the hospital, the whole time I was there, I said, Lord, forget about me. That guy over there, code blue 8 times, do something for me. You know, take my heart. I can wait, you know. I mean, I've got this machine, and I told the doctor, I asked the doctor, I said, am I going to live long enough to get a heart with this machine? He said, if it don't bring it out, we got a bigger one. We got one to put a little more out. He said, we got 3 different sizes. The third one's a little tough on people. It blows veins out. He said, but the first one, I think you'll make it fine. Most people were there. There were people in there a year, 1 year waiting on a transplant. Hearts, lungs, and kidneys all night long. They're doing it all night long, and they're good at it. And some of the best people in the world. Somebody asked me, you know, who's your doctor? And I said, God, I said, here's my doctor. That's all. I know every one of them. They're on call. I can call them now and tell them I got a cold and the ambulance pull up and get me. That's their reputation as heart transplant. They take care of it.
Wow.
And the doors open like, I mean, and I'd lay there in bed and cry. Why me, Lord? Why me? Why not this guy that died last night? Why me? Never got an answer, of course, but I was prepared. God prepared me for every bit of that. Every bit of that, God come to me. And you hear this stuff about, well, you'll never see God in the Bible. Jesus, they say, well, you talking to Jesus? No, I was talking to God. Trust me, when you're looking at the man in the eyes, he comes in all different shapes.
Yes,
all
he
different
does.
shapes.
Yes, he does.
Well, let me tell you, I was laying there at the Anderson farm. I think you went there. And I've got to play this out for you a little bit. I've got it written down because I'm pretty nervous. I was laying in bed. Wife's laying here. I'm laying here, okay? We got a big bay window in the master bedroom. And when the sun come up, you could see the light lift over the woods in back. It's beautiful hunting up there too, nice deer. Anyway, I'm laying in bed, the wife's laying in bed, it's still dark outside. I'm hurt. I am friggin' swole. I look like I'm about 7 months pregnant. And I couldn't lay down. I'd have to try to sit down because I was so swollen. My liver is backed up, the water's backing up, strangling my heart. And I didn't know what the hell was wrong. Doctors wouldn't tell me that, hey man, your heart's backing up and you're dying. You know, so this was 2 months before I went to St. Luke's and Methodist, okay? I'm laying in bed, hurting. I look to my left, and I see myself. I see myself, and I've got the covers covered up. I got the sheets all over my nose. And I didn't want to wake Brenda up. I couldn't sleep. I'm hurt. There was a lot of sleepless nights before close to the end. And I said, man, Lord, if I could just lay here another hour, the sun come up, she'd be ready to get up maybe, and I wouldn't bother her again, and blah, blah, blah. So I look to my left, I see myself laying in bed over there. And I look back at the end of my bed. God is sitting on the edge of my bed. And he's looking down at the ground, and he looks like he's playing in the dirt. He's doing this. Now he's sitting right here, and I'm watching him just like I'm watching you. he's sitting there on his right hand, he's looking down. And he's in dirt. And I look at him, and he's still looking at dirt, and I said, you know, I've been hurting pretty good the last couple of weeks. He looked up, kept playing the same thing. The director looks up, he smiles at me. Biggest smile I've seen in his life. He smiles. And then he looks back down. He doesn't do that. I'm watching him. He's doing this, and I'm watching him. I'm looking at him, looking down, and I said, that's the stupidest question any man could ever ask.
Oh, Lord.
I said, what do you do on that?
Oh, my God.
I swear to God. And Brenda says, the only thing he looks up at me and he smiles again, a little bigger smile. And he said, I do a lot. Then he looked back down, started twiddling the finger. And he looks back up and says, I love my fruit.
I love my what?
Fruit. I love all my fruit. I love all the different colors. I love all the different colors of fruit. And here's what gets you. I love the red. I love the blue. I love the yellow. And I love the orange. And all the different shades of the orange. I was like, what in the is he talking about? He looks back down. He just doodles that. And then he stops. He looks back up. He said, even the black. And when he said black, he looked at me right in the eyes. I went to crying, bawling, black as death. He told me right there, boom, right in my brain. When you look into God's eyes, look at me shaking. When you look into God's eyes, it's like a tunnel. It looks like a tunnel, and it's the brightest white light that you'll ever see in your life. And you can tell when you look in it, it's from right now to the start of time.
Amen.
He knew what I was going to say before I said it.
Yes.
And when he looked up and said, even the black. He said, like a thunderstorm at night, it comes. And he looked at me, he stared, and he said, it has to be. And I was bawling. Because he told me right then I was dying. And then he looked again, he said, and he put a little, it has to be. I said, okay, I'll just, after he said that, he looked back down, went to doodling again, I'm bawling. He said, right here, he said, you know, he looked at me, you know that I painted all the different heavens the color of fruit. I said, maybe you told me I need to open my Bible a little more.
You didn't know that.
I did not know that. And you know, in fact, I've talked to Kari, and I've talked to 4 or 5 preachers, and in fact, I told one preacher the story, and he started crying, and he pulled this off, said, here, I'm going to give you this. I never wore a necklace in my life. But he said, real plainly, he said, you know, I colored all the heavens the color of fruit. And he said, and what he stuck in my head was heavens. Is there more than one heaven?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I didn't know the colors. Does anybody know what the colors are? Well, I just learned it thanks to you. And I've talked to a lot of preachers. Anyway, I'm laying there, and after he says that, he starts to kind of drift away a little bit. And I said, wait. don't go, please, don't go. Don't go, please, take me with you. I said, my wife will be fine, my kids will be fine, my grandkids are fine, I'm ready to go. Please don't leave me, please. And he left me. And that was 2.5 months. Well, that next morning, the wife, well, about an hour later, I wake the wife up. Well, she wakes up and I ball her. She's, what's wrong? And I tell her, I just talked to God. She says, what? And I told her what we talked about. And she says, unbelievable. I said, and I cried. I probably cried just, I stayed 3 or 4 days. I just cried. I would walk out in the yard and just break down and start crying. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And the next morning, I called everybody I knew and I told them the story. I didn't care if they thought I was crazy or loony or whatever. I didn't care. I said, I talked to God last night. He said, what does it mean? I said, well, fruit's people. You know, I take fruit as people. What's the color? I have no idea. Well, let me tell you, I had took my Bible, I had tore into it. And most of it's, you can't always find. You can find the different verses in there that pertains to the color. You know what I'm saying? But what I've got out of it so far, and I'm still digging. In fact, I talked to a couple of people today. Heaven is God, Jesus to his right, and the Holy Spirit. There's 7 spirits, angels, that sit in front of them. They roam the earth looking for people to help. And I think one of them stumbled up on top of me. But I've got a couple more little things I want to show you. This man, man in the middle, he's my surgeon. He saved my life. And that guy, that's too many meds. Guha. The guy on the left's Guha. What they do is they go through your neck and they put a tube down all the way to your heart and they measure the pressure on both sides. I had to do that every week. After the 3rd week they did it. They did it every 2 weeks. And after 3 or 4 weeks of that, then they do it once a month. And after 3 or 4 months of that, then they stop doing it. But here's me going into operating. Here's me right here. You see me giving the surgeon thumbs up.
Yeah.
The greatest phone call a man could ever receive. I'm laying in bed after 3.5 months of hospital, 2.5 months in laying in the bed, 6-foot cord. I had a damn bed sore. I didn't know what a bed sore. I'd never been in bed that long in my life. I had bed sores that big around.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that morning, the doctor comes in and says, Mr. Ballard, we had you a donor this morning, but we wasn't going to tell you, but the heart failed. It didn't pass our specs, and so we're still looking. Well, hey, at least they're looking. I'm gonna back up just a minute. Probably a couple weeks before that, we're depressed. I mean, if the reason hospitals don't have windows that can open because people jump out of it. I've got that figure. I said, man, if that thing just would raise up, I'm on the 26th floor, I could fly. And anyway, about 7 or 8 o'clock that night, my phone rings, and the damn phone is back here. Now, y'all seen? Yeah.
Your lifeline.
Yes, y'all seen? I'm hooked up to this. That's my heart. That's my heart. And I slept with this. I had to sleep on the back. Okay. I had 2 half-inch rubber hoses here. I had 2 more over here, and then I had my electric wires that went all the way down to my heart here. So I slept like this. I mean, the first time I got those out, I could do this. Oh man, I'm good. I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm good to go. But yeah, the greatest. I get sidetracked.
You were talking about 10 o'clock that night.
Yeah, about 8 o'clock that night, after 3.5 months in the hospital, and I had been through hell. The phone rings just behind me. I can't get it. I can't get it. I said, who in the hell is calling me? this lady, don't they know I hooked up all this crap? So I finally get it, and it's a nurse. I mean, why did she walk down? She said,
Oh, Lord.
she said, Mr. Ballard? I said, yes. We got you a donor. I said, no, you're wrong. That happened this morning. I'm drugged out. I said, no, that happened this morning. That's not now. No, sir. This is a different donor. No. Y'all are wrong. That was this morning. Nobody gets 2 donors in one day. Nobody.
That's right.
He said, listen to me. We got you a donor. It's in the panhandle of Texas.
Wow.
Our jet's leaving now. It's going to take him 2 hours to get there. We're 99.9% sure it's a good heart. Because they never tell you that because they don't want to disappoint him when he gets there. He said he's leaving now. He said, we're going to go ahead and get you prepped and get you ready. You see the thumbs up? That's me going into surgery. We're going to get you prepped and get you ready to go. When the jet lands, you'll be ready to go. He said, are you ready? I said, go for it. So they get me up there, they take me down there, they cut me open, they take my old heart out, and I told them to kick it like a damn football. They took my heart out. I laid there 2.5 hours, no heart, hooked to life support. The jet lands, they put it in, they said it started with one shock. The next day I was walking, the second day I was riding a bicycle. Even after St. Luke's told me no.
That's right. Wow.
So
God said yes.
God opened more doors than you can ever imagine. And if y'all look up colors and y'all find some information, call me, tell Kari, because I'm digging in my Bible right now. But I am so blessed.
You need to tell him about the date. He gave you a date.
Yes.
God gave you a date. And it happened on the date.
9/18.
And then
Yeah,
it happened
9/18.
and it happened on the 18th.
Yeah. Everything just it's just unbelievable how it happened. I mean, it's a gift from God. Now, right before this all happened, I sold that farm and I bought another farm. I wasn't happy, I didn't feel good, so I would buy stuff. and then I'd sell it. But I was so, after God visited me, I was so I'm just, it's unbelievable. Wife was asleep, I'm swollen, I didn't feel good. I was out in the front yard naked, running in around and dancing.
Oh, Lord.
You know the song, the new song come out, Would You Dance? Would you dance? Oh, hell yeah. I don't dance. I'm butt naked out in the yard. I just stripped down and said, hey, God want me? Here I am, come get me. I'm ready. Devil, you ain't got nothing. I was laying in the bed after, like I say, 3.5 months in the bed. It was bad. The devil come get on me. After God visited her, he'd come get on me. And he said, what are you doing here? You ain't gonna get no heart. Pull this crap out and go home. At least die like a man. Die at the house. You ain't gonna stand there and do this stuff.
That's the enemy.
What are you doing? I said, hey, who do you think you are? You ain't fighting Rodney. You're fighting Rodney and God. Get your butt out of here. I don't want to hear this crap. Leave.
Amen.
Anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to come here tonight because, God told me the last word out of his mouth. He said, and you know how Moses kind of told God he didn't want to go to Egypt and free the slaves and all this, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when you talk to God, you're going to talk to him just like I'm talking to you. It's just that somebody said, well, how did you feel? It took me probably, I'm going to jump around again. It probably took me a month or so to finally figure out how I felt. I said, it's a feeling that you'll never feel. And then I thought, you know, if you could imagine being a little baby, and you've got your arms wrapped around your mama, and got your legs wrapped around her, that's what I felt like. It was, you can't describe it.
You can't.
You just can't describe it. But anyway.
So what did he tell you?
Yeah, the last thing he told me was, and that's why I'm here. He said, tell him what happened here. I went, whoop, wait a minute. I said, Lord, you know, I'm not talking to people. I'm a rancher, a cow guy. I'm not no politician. And I said, of course, he didn't say a word. He just sat there and looked at me. And he said, I said, okay, if there's 2 or 3 people, you know, and you want me to say, yeah, I ain't got a problem with that. He looked at me again and he said, tell me what happened here. I said, okay. So that's why I'm here tonight. That's the only reason I'm here tonight. And hopefully one of y'all knows somebody that needs, you know, an organ transplant, whatever. Don't go to Conroe. Don't go to the Woodlands. You go downtown Methodist. Maybe you save somebody's life. And if you hadn't signed a donor card, please do it, because here's why. You know, like the young man right here, the young boy right there.
The big one,
What?
the good picture.
In the frame.
Frame, okay.
Go there. You have a reason for that.
Well, that's another story. I hate to say it, but I probably have to come back.
You know, you got time.
We got all night.
How can I start this off? This is my mother's daddy. That's Grandpa. I know all you grandsons out there and grown men probably had a grandpa like this, like I did. We were hunting one night in Port Lavaca, and he had a massive heart attack and died in my lap.
And you were how old?
12. It ruined me.
Ruined you towards who?
I hated God. I stand cussing, shoot the finger, climb up on the tallest tire, and, you know, I was bad. I was an atheist, 100%, because of this. At that early age, I couldn't handle it. I wasn't going to tell this story tonight, but Kari pushed me on it. I hated the Lord. I thought it was a joke. Everything's a joke. I said, if there's a God, he wouldn't have took my grandpa, especially when it died and fell in my lap, right? That's the way a 12-year-old boy thinks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, for probably, oh man, probably 20-something years, I was an atheist, 100%. 100%. But there's another part of this story that there was an angel come and sing me pretty often. This is a long time ago, guys. This is 30, 40 years ago, I guess. And finally, after years and years and years, I mean, I went to a lot of, in fact, I walked into the Catholic Church downtown Conroe, and I was probably, I don't know, 24, 25, and walked in there, and the preacher was in there, and I said, now, what do I call you? And I called you, I had a hard hat on. I said, what do I call you? I call you father, or priest, or what? He said, you call me anything you want. Okay. He said, how can I help you? I said, I've got a problem. He said, okay. I said, I'm going pretty nuts. What are you talking about? He said, I've got a spirit that keeps coming to see me at night. And come to find out, half of Conroe knew about it. They probably thought I was crazy. But finally one night, there was a spirit come to him, and he had a little girl with him. And the little girl was dressed in an Easter dress. It had ruffles here, ruffles here, ruffles here. Roxy knows the story. And I went over to Mama's that morning, drank coffee with them on Saturday or Sunday. I said, what's wrong? This is 40 years ago. She's like, a problem. She said, what? I said, I think I'm going nuts. She said, what's happened? I said, well, I've got this spirit that's been following me, or ghost, or even calling me. I said, he brought a little girl to me last night. Mom said, what'd she look like? I said, well, you couldn't see it. I could see a white dress. It's ruffles around here, like a, you know, some kind of Victorian dress. And she said, hang on a minute. She goes to the cedar chest, pulls out a picture, comes to the table, and she says, is this her? He was shaking. I said, yeah. said, your grandpa, was his niece, they was at a family reunion, and she drowned. So he came back, God let him come back, and let me know that there was a heaven, that God didn't, he wasn't dead, he's still alive.
Come on.
And I've got the picture of the little girl home today. And that's the reason I think when I asked the question, why? I think God put a little too much on 12-year-old's shoulder. I couldn't handle it, or on this 12-year-old's shoulder, and he kind of made up for it a little bit, is what I think.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was a rough. But anyway,
So
thank y'all.
if they want to sign up as a donor, how can they do that?
You can sign your driver's license. You can tell your family member. In fact, Methodists, they, again, here's God working. She said, Rodney, she said, you ever thought about going here and meeting these transplant people and talking to them? Because they need your help. It's tough. You know, I'm about to go nuts waiting on to write the letter and find out who my donor is. Is it a girl? Is it a boy? Will their parents see me? You know, what race? I said, I don't care. The rainbow makes me no difference. I'm alive. I'm beating. You know, I don't care if it's a girl or what.
Can you tell me like what music you like now?
Oh,
Since you got the heart?
well, the lady, where she at?
Right.
Yeah, she asked me a while ago. She said, have you noticed anything different? I said, yes. And I said, well, I've been told that your DNA bleeds over. I said, well, it's funny you said something. I said, the surgeons, probably 4, 5, 6 weeks after the surgery, you're going up there for a visit. In fact, we lived downtown Houston for about a month and a half, 2 months, me and Brenda. They asked me, said, you notice anything different? I said, a lot of people believe that the spirit is also in the heart. And they start doing things they never did do. They start eating stuff they didn't like. And I said, here's Conway Twitty, Merle Haggard, and that's me, okay? I said, yes I have. They said, what? I said, hard rock. AC/DC. I'm friggin' bouncing. I mean, you know how they do that? I'm dancing, bouncing, and I got horses and cows back, and what is that? They must have some of that good stuff. But yeah, I eat lemons and oranges. I eat the whole thing right, and I'll just sit there and drink it. I said, I crave it. I'll eat 3 or 4 lemons a day. Luckily, they're good for you.
Yeah, they
I sit there and just eat them. But hey, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. The Lord bless me. Everywhere I go, people say, good morning. I said, hold it. Do you know what you just said? Good morning? I said, you don't know what good morning is. Let me show you myself. Wow, unreal. I said, yeah, it is a great morning. I said, do you know what a blessing it is to push a shopping cart around Kroger's? I couldn't do that. I couldn't take trash out. I mean, I go to Kroger's now and don't even buy anything, just push the cart. I took my grandkids last week and I'm moving. They're 8 and 9 and they said, Papa, are you running? No, come on, buddy, let's get it going. Get this heart going, So anyway, thank y'all a million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3 months after he was putting trim in and Carmen and I's condo and putting wood on the fireplace, going and blowing.
Oh yeah. The wife woke up one night. We had one of those electrical outlets like this, and I had the couch. About 2 in the morning. I had the couch flipped over. And I got my wire. I got my voltmeter. She said, what are you doing? I said, I can't sleep. I said, I got the 25-year-old heart. I can't stop. Anyhow, it's good. That wasn't too bad.
He's always been a talker.
He's like, I'm blowing the top to the stand.
How young are you?
How
young are you?
We know the doctor come by the room and he opened the door and said, How old are you, Mr. Ballard? I said, 65. He said, no.
Reborn
I
on
know
September
how old I
18th.
am. He said, you're 25.
Oh, because your heart was
That's
25.
unbelievable. He said, now you know that I put another 20 years on your life.
Yeah.
He said, you're going to die. It's not going to be a heart. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You mind if we pray for you?
No, please,
Guys,
please.
stretch your hands out to him because God has called him and told him that he has to start going around and giving this story. And I believe that the boldness of God is going to come on him stronger, and that people's lives are going to be touched. That God is always there, so people get hope. So that's what I want us to pray over him for this next season in his life, that boldness and the tenacity and doors to start opening for him to give his testimony of God's hope. Daddy God, I just thank you for my uncle. I thank you for what you've done for him, God, the life. That you even say in your word that he will live and he will not die, so he can proclaim the goodness of God upon the earth. And he is standing right beside me, God. He is going to proclaim your goodness, God, upon the earth of what you have done for him. He will be a person that goes and gives hope. He will be a hope dealer. Instead of a dope dealer, he's a hope dealer. And I thank you for that, God, that you are going to open doors that no man can shut for him to be able to walk in and give other people hope. It's just not people waiting for a transplant, but it's people that are on the edge of life in general, that he's going to give them hope, God, because you are living and you are alive, and you want the world to know that you love them right where they're at. And I thank you for the boldness upon his life to do that. And I just thank you, God, that everywhere he goes, that people are going to feel the anointing and your presence on his life as he reaches out and into people to pull them towards your bosom, God, to pull them into you. And I thank you for that. I thank you for the miracle of life. And I thank you for my aunt, God. I thank you for her being there for Uncle Rodney. I thank you that what she's going through right now, that you are also healing her heart, in the healing balm of Gilead upon her heart right now, and that she also will be a beacon of hope with him, going and being with the spouses to be able to understand the other side of hearing that code blue, not knowing if your husband or your spouse is going to be the next one. That she'll be able to go in and tell them how to deal with it, God. It's going to be a mighty force, a family to start giving hope to people that are hopeless. And I thank you for it, Father, in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
There is one more thing I've got to say. The colors that God gave me is in order. And it's in order. Just what it's in order. I ain't that smart.
Can you pass around your pictures so they can see them?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Wow.
Spread the word about St. Luke's if you would.
It was online. I put it online.
It's good.
It had like 45 people at one time tuning in.
Well, I pray that they get their act together, because think of all the good they do when they work. Supposedly, they got a new CEO. He's taking all the profit going overseas, and he's hurting the hospitals. Hope that gets straight. Okay, kids, if you don't drink and you don't smoke, if you need a new heart, let's say you go up there and you got nicotine in your blood,
That's right.
you're gonna get a letter like this. They'll tell you to go home and die. You hear me?
Yep.
They're gonna say go home and die.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, nicotine kills hearts.
Yes.
Kills it. That's what these people say. It kills hearts. Alcohol, you can drink a couple beers here and there. Not now. Not now. Okay. Daddies, birthdays, holidays, especially not every weekend. If they go up there and your liver's bad from drinking, you get one of these. Like I did. Ain't worth it.
Amen. She has something you asked her.
I was going to tell everybody that I lost my husband in December. He donated his
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
I thought
more,
I had the card in my purse,
yeah,
but
well, I'm sorry, that's the way.
it's a big savings.
And he gets to help
Sign
them
your donor
figure out the
cards,
body.
sign your donor
And I've
cards.
seen him twice since he went. I was at church one Sunday morning during the worship service. I just looked up over the choir. There he was standing there with the Lord's arm around him. And he said, there she is right there. Right
Unbelievable.
Oh.
You know, after going through what I did, I believe every word you said, every word you said.
there. Another Sunday, I was just sitting there with my head down. The Lord was out here dancing with me down. Wow.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
And I haven't had any drinks.
I think I told y'all, you know, back 15 years ago, or 10, 15, 20 years ago, when you had a heart transplant, it was touch and go the whole way. Normally you wouldn't make it, okay? In the last 5 years, 6, 7 years, the success is 98% on heart transplant for the first year. And then it goes down to like 82 or 85, whatever. I mean, I'll take my chances there any day, you know? Any day. So it's a whole lot better than